Oh,
That's
God.
where they are. Gyasi's like, oh God, what did I get myself into?
Yo, Lamar, you killing me over here, bro.
He's a wild boy.
Yo, so
All right, welcome back to the Side by Side podcast with your host Brandon.
And I'm Dimari.
Here we engage in meaningful conversation in hopes to create unity and diversity by enlightening and inspiring minds, one question at a time. We do that by bringing on two strangers each week to show we have a lot more in common than meets the eye. Today, we have Ray Francis and Gyasi on with us. Say hello, fellas.
What's going on?
What's happening?
Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks.
It's great
man.
to have you.
Thanks for having
So
us,
we're going to kick it
Appreciate
off
it,
with a
man.
little... Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So we're going to kick it off with a little segment, this or that. So Damari's got some ideas loaded up. He's gonna run off to us, and we're all going to just kind of chime in and talk about it.
All right, cool, man. So this or that, man. First, basketball or football?
Basketball.
Playing or watching?
Okay, he says basketball. Gyasi says basketball. Come on, Ray. Just answer the question, man.
Basketball.
Okay. What you got, Rizzo?
I'm going to go basketball.
Okay. Halloween or Christmas?
Christmas.
Halloween.
Ooh.
Damari, you're not answering.
I didn't answer last week. I didn't know y'all wanted my answer.
I know.
My bad.
Just say yours at the end.
Okay, all right. Popeyes or Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I'm going to go Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, okay. Batman or Superman?
Superman all day.
Batman.
And last one, Nike or Adidas?
Adidas.
Nike?
Nike?
Adidas.
Adidas, Rizzo?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. All right, so I definitely got basketball, Christmas, Popeyes, Batman, and Adidas.
Yes.
Nice.
Love
All right,
it.
man. This is good. That was actually fun. I can't believe he said Halloween. Like, you're
I
only
know.
like, that's crazy, right? My sister, like, that's her favorite holiday too, which is crazy. So I think you might be the only person that I know besides her that would choose Halloween over Christmas. That's cool.
Oh.
I definitely would
You wanna kick
say
it off?
Halloween. Halloween when I was a kid was one of my favorites for sure. But as I've gotten older, just like you don't dress up as much anymore. You don't celebrate it as much anymore when you're older. It's definitely
Bro,
fun
that's
holiday.
because
though.
you're married, though. There's some wild parties going on out here.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
True.
You want to kick it off, Rizzo?
Yes, sir. Okay, so word association, Mr. Francis.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you're just going to say the first thing that comes to mind.
All right.
First word, business.
Administration.
Oh, okay. Family.
Man.
What'd you say?
Man.
Family, man. I like that. Rock and roll.
Me.
Chicago Bears.
Sucks.
I'll applaud that one. Coming as the Packer fan of the group here.
I still
applaud
love
that.
him, but I'm a realist. I can't.
Yeah, what are they, like 2-4 right now?
Yeah, it's so bad.
They started off that first win. Everybody was hyped.
Yo, I was so hyped. And then week 2 came. Packers embarrassed us like we were a freaking high school team, and I was like, yeah, back to normal.
All right, last word. Drums.
Roll. Like all I heard was drum.
Yo, I feel like honestly, he might be like in the top 3 at this point because usually when we do this, people they just think far too long. But you like legitimately said the first words that came to your mind. That's good,
love
man. I like that. I definitely got to delve into this rock and roll. You said me.
Yes, sir.
You know, when I think rock and roll, the way it's, transformed over the years, I would not see you and think rock and roll. So you gotta enlighten the people on this, man. How are you rock and roll?
I get that. So I guess for me, I see. So I got kids, right? And like the way my kids, I explain like my past music days to my kids is I used to tell them I was like I used to be kind of a rock star. You know what I mean? Like that's what I was discovering. I was like I used to be kind of like a rock star. And then like rock and roll, like I played every genre of music you could imagine. So like I never, like people always ask me like what kind of music you like, and I'm like all of it. Like I've performed all of it, I've studied all of it, I enjoy all of it, So I think anything that has to do with music, that selfishly the first thing I think of is myself. Honestly.
That's dope, man. Definitely want to hear something in at this point. Well, I guess I maybe heard some of the Fly Phoenix stuff with you in it. I'm not 100% certain.
Yeah.
But we'll definitely have some time to talk about music and specifically rock and roll.
For sure.
Let's get Gyasi on this, man. So again, first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Tesla.
Damn, Tesla. That's a tough one. I guess the future. I don't know.
Okay. Non-binary.
Can I skip that one?
What?
Yo, Damar, that was
that's
so
the answer.
random.
I feel like you gotta write that down. You gotta write that down.
Can I buy a
Can I
pass?
skip that one? Yo, that's
That was
hilarious.
That was the most random.
circling
That was the
back to
most
that
random one.
Oh, it gets so
Oh,
random
man.
with me, man. You have no idea.
Oh, man.
Jesus Christ.
The greatest.
Me.
Hollywood.
Celebrities.
William Shakespeare.
I don't know.
I don't know. All right, man. That's it.
you got-
but
yo.
why?
No,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I was just gonna ask why do you have to skip non-binary, man?
I don't know. I mean, it was random. I didn't know what to think. Like non-binary. Like somebody just walks up to you and just says non-binary. Like what? That might have been the
when I thought
most.
of that one, man.
Oh my God, Joe, that might have been the most random thing I've ever heard in my life. That was a great experience, though.
Yeah, I know. That was a great experience. You dodged that one, and you took the political route. You definitely thought your answers out too. You're like, can I skip that one?
I'm glad I didn't get that one. I might have said something politically incorrect off the top of my head.
That's what I'm always hoping for. He went the political route. He's a businessman. That's really good though. So
I could have stopped thinking when you said William Shakespeare. I could have stopped thinking. I showed you that video last week when it was like that Bible. There's like a Bible verse or something, and like the 46th letter or something or word from the first part of the verse is William or something, and then the 46th from the end is like Shakespeare or something like that. And it was like he died when he was 46. And it was like the 46th letter is like is his name in the Bible. That was so crazy. I can't stop thinking about those weird facts.
yeah, I think that was in like Psalms or something because they were like, I think there's like some conspiracy theories that he was a part of writing it or something, writing the Bible.
Oh yeah, well during that
Really?
time is when they did the council or whatever, right? For the King
I don't know.
James
I think
version.
he's a little after that. You're talking about the Council of Nicaea?
Yeah, no, not the Council of Nicaea.
That was like 733.
The version of the Bible that's kind of like more common nowadays is like around his time, I think. Is like
Oh, the King James?
Oh, the King
Yeah.
James version?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really this guy Erasmus. Erasmus is the guy, which they say like William Shakespeare low key stole from Erasmus, but I don't know. All these conspiracy theories. But Erasmus was definitely the original non-binary. So y'all can Google him.
Really? Okay.
No, I don't know, but he's definitely homosexual though.
Okay.
So Ray, man, just tell us a little bit about your upbringing. Your family structure, what you're doing professionally, and what got you there, and what you're doing today.
Yeah, for sure. So I am originally from the U.S. Virgin Islands, born and raised. And then right around age 6, my parents split up. My mom's took me and my sisters, moved us to Brooklyn actually for like 4 years. Very formidable years of my life because it was the first time I left an all African American population. We moved from there into like Shore Parkway, which was like a very all Italian neighborhood in Bensonhurst, New York. So that was a different experience for me. It's being like a 7-year-old going to second grade, being the only black kid in my school. So we did that for 2 years, and then we moved into the hood on Flatlines Avenue for another 2 years, which was, again, different. And then we moved back to the islands when I was 10, going into 6th grade, and then stayed in the islands until I graduated high school. Decided that I want to go to college. My parents couldn't afford college, so I was going to go into the Army. So I passed like my physical, everything, got my papers. And then my calculus teacher in high school took a liking to me and one of my best friends. I was like, what do you guys want to do? You guys are super smart. We're only 2 boys in the advanced calculus class. The guys full of girls, right? So she's like, well, what do you guys want to do? And I was like, well, they had like a list in our student counselor's office, and it was like top 10 jobs for people that are good at math, And like the first one was like a doctor, scientist, and then like the third one was like an engineer. So I was like, I guess an engineer because I don't want to do the first 2. So she was like, well, I know this great school. My brother went there. He's an engineer. You guys should check it out. I'll fill out the application for you and all of this. So we were like, cool. Didn't think nothing of it. The week before I was supposed to ship out, I got a call from the school, and they gave me a scholarship to pay in-state tuition. And then I had some other academic scholarships. So pretty much I had 75% of the tuition covered on scholarships. So I just had to come up with the other 25%. So I talked to my mom's, and she was like, okay, if you want to go, like, we'll figure it out between student loans and whatnot. Like, we'll figure it out. So, we called my recruiter. He's pretty pissed. He had to call the college and all kinds of stuff to figure out that I couldn't go. So then decided to go. This college was actually in Houghton, Michigan. I don't know if you know where that's at, but that's in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, above Wisconsin. Right?
What was the college name?
Michigan Technological University.
Okay.
Michigan Tech for short, right? So me and my best friend went. So 2 dudes from the U.S. Virgin Islands show up at college in Houghton, Michigan. So did that for 4 years, really opened up my eyes to just a different way of living. People up there it's actually very similar to an island, except instead of being surrounded by water, it's surrounded by snow. You know what I mean? And people still have like that kind of island mentality, but it's just different, So I did that, graduated from there, met my wife. She was from Detroit. Got a job in East Chicago, Indiana as an engineer. Then did that for like a year and a half. Then the housing market tanked. I was working for a building construction company, USG, making drywall and shit. Housing market tanked, got laid off, got hired by a sugar company. And then I ended up working for that sugar company for like 13 years. During that time, like I was an engineer, I was in maintenance, I was in operations. And then I got my master's in business administration. That's why the first thing when you said business was administration because I got my MBA from University of North Carolina online. During that 13 years is when I decided I'd always been playing music. I've been playing music my whole life. My dad's a musician. His dad's a musician. All my uncles were musicians. So I've even like through college to pay that 25%, I was gigging. I was playing shows like to make that money. So I think the longest before this time of the pandemic this is the longest I've actually gone without actually performing anywhere. So once I was living in Chicago, I started trying to reach out to people and just join the music network within the city. And then I also tried my hand at modeling for a little while. So I actually did that for like 7 years, which was the most random shit. I just like walked into an open call in Ford, Chicago office, and they like offered me, a modeling gigs, which I did kind of off and on because I was still working a day job and I was still trying to do music, and I was modeling on the side. It was a little nuts, but that's actually how I got hooked in with KMA Management, which is the group that managed the band that I was playing with. How I met Brandon is through those. So it was super weird. I had my fingers kind of in like a bunch of different social networks at the time. So during that time, my wife got married. My wife got pregnant. So then at that point, I had to make a decision. Like my job was offering me a promotion, but I had to move to Ohio in order to take it. So at that point, decided to not model anymore, not play the music anymore, and commit to my professional career. So moved the family to Ohio. Had another kid. Stayed in Ohio for about like 8 years. Still doing engineering, operations, manufacturing stuff. And then got another promotion to move back to Chicago, which was right in 2019. So I came back to Chicago and then left that company, which was a sugar company, to join a baking company. Hated it. Did that for 6 months. It was awful. Never working in meat manufacturing. That shit sucks. Like you have to work in a freezer with like meat and stuff. It's disgusting. But almost made me a vegetarian. Almost, but not enough. So I did that for like 6 months, and then I left just because it just wasn't me. And then started working for this company that I work for right now, which is Double Good Popcorn. It's like a fundraising company, which is super cool, man. Like everything we do is to like fundraise for specifically like youth sports and whatnot, but like other fundraisers and whatnot. So it's just like it's got a good like helps fill my moral compass a little bit, which is like the first time my actual day job has been able to do that. So that's me in a nutshell, kind of touching a little bit here and there to how I what got me to here right now. So now I got my 2 kids, my wife. My kids are 10 and 7, and I try to get back to the islands, once a year or so. But yeah, that's me. That's my bio, the short and sweet.
Yo, Ray, that's the double good thing. You were telling me about it at Nick's wedding, and if you could just talk a little bit more, just like for the listeners, to get an idea of what it is, because I just think it's a really cool thing that you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. So Double Good Popcorn, what it is, it's what makes it special is that 50% of everything we make goes directly to the person holding the fundraiser, right? And the fundraiser, like what's required of the person holding the fundraiser is super minimal. Like all they have to do, they sign up. We have one of our I forget what they're called. One of our account managers contact them, and they set up a pop-up store for them online. And then you get a link, and then you just send that link to people. And they order popcorn, and we ship it to them, and then you get a check. So it's super easy. Most of the people that use us are like high school football teams, high school cheerleading, rec teams, and whatnot. We actually just started partnering with Delta Sigma Theta, the sorority, and so we're just that's really what we do is everything. The only way to get our popcorn is to support a fundraiser. Like you can't go buy it in Costco, you can't go buy it at a store. So it just kind of helps, like I said, my moral compass, knowing that everything that we make is going to help somebody raise money to do something that they enjoy, that they couldn't afford to do on their own. And the flavors are fire.
I was going to ask that now. So now my question, another this or that.
Yeah.
Double Good or Garrett's?
Yo, Double Good all day. Garrett's is
What?
trash compared to
Garrett's.
Double Good, bro. I'm dead serious.
Wow.
So
All right. All
I'm
day,
not
right?
kidding. All
Garrett's.
Now,
day.
now we have to do a fundraiser, Rizzo. We got to do a side-by-side fundraiser to try this
absolutely.
Double Good.
Absolutely.
Yo, it is not a game, bro. Like you will never. I warn you not to do it because then you won't be able to eat Garrett's again.
What?
It's that good. It's
I
that
do not
good.
discriminate
So
when
you
it
were
comes to
part of the-
popcorn.
What'd you say, Rizzo?
I said I do not discriminate when it comes to popcorn, man. I'm
Yeah,
down.
I'm a big
It'll
fan.
turn you into his popcorn snob, bro. I'm not kidding.
For real? Nah, I want to
Yeah.
try this, but he said there's no way we could do it without a fundraiser. So, like,
Well,
I mean,
so you can. So we open it up where if you wanted to, you could go on the website, and what we do is the other half of the money, if you just buy it from us, we donate to random
okay.
charity or like first responders.
Still,
and
we
whatnot.
should do something
So
like that.
we have it where you can do that, but it's better to just find somebody's kid's fundraiser. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
we can use AK's football team or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely want to get into that because you just hated on Garrett's right now, but
Listen, it's for real.
got to give my dog a time to tell us. So, Gyasi, tell us a little bit about your upbringing, family structure, what you do professionally, and what it took to get there.
Oh, originally born and raised in Gary, Indiana. Moved to my mom got married to a baseball player, LaTroy Hawkins. He was in the major leagues for 22 years. Just retired a few years ago. We ended up moving out to Texas. Spent high school and part of middle school out in Texas. Then from there. When I hit 18, I moved here to Atlanta. So as of right now, when I first came to Atlanta, when I went to college out in Memphis at LeMoyne Owen College, which is a HBCU. So from there, I started my clothing line. But to even back up further, my first chance to become an entrepreneur, I got homeschooled at the age of 12, and when he talks about, I can relate to when Ray talks about fundraising and things of that nature, because that's how I became an entrepreneur. So what I did was that when I got homeschooled, I ended up having a homeschool teacher. So she had a nonprofit in South Dallas, Texas, and it was for inner city girls. So from there, I was like, hey, how can I help your organization and help you raise money? So she was like, well, I have a volleyball program up under my nonprofit for the girls, and you can help us that way. You can help us sell chocolate. So I was like, okay, cool. So I was like, well, give me all the chocolate that you got, and I'll help you sell it. So I went to my everybody on my street, all the parents that I knew, my friends' parents. I went to their houses and I gave everybody chocolate. And at the end of the week, I picked up all the money and I gave it to her. So from there, I was like, well, I know these baseball players. I know Ken Griffey Jr. I know Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds. I know all of these guys. And at the beginning of each season, they send out these lists with the different baseball players on there from each team, whichever team he was on at the time. And they have like their home address, their name, email, alias name, the works. So I was like, well, I'm going to send out letters to all of these baseball players for you and see if they'll bite back and, bring in some funds for the nonprofit. So she was like, okay, well, if you really think that it can happen, let's do it. So I typed up, she helped me type up some letters, and me and my mom sent the letters off. And man, I ended up raising $30,000 in a month at the age of 12 years old.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what's
So
up.
That is dope.
So yeah, that was my first time becoming an entrepreneur. So when I hit college, I started my clothing line, Gyasi Clothing, and that lasted, for a matter of years. And then from there, my ultimate dream was to have a cigar company. So I started my cigar company. I still have that, G Cigars. Then I started my magazine company because I was like, everybody needs promotion. So I started my magazine company. And then after that, I got into radio. So I got into radio. I've been 10 years in the radio now. And I started off as an intern, and I worked my way up to running the station. Within a year, I became program director. So from there, this year will make 10 years in radio. Now, I've been dealing with artists for the last like 7 years, managing and whatnot, road managing. I was a road manager for Young LA, the works, man. And then from there, I hopped off into the film industry. My brother he was Teen Groot in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. So I was managing him, got him into the film industry. And then from there, I got a chance to meet Jason Mitchell that played Eazy-E in Straight Outta Compton. And I ended up being on the management team for him as well. And then from there, it just kept flowing. So now I realized that there was a void within the film industry as far as filmmakers being able to find music. So I'm like, well, I'm in the music industry, artists and the labels, they send me music all the time. So I just created a portal where I have a subscription service for independent artists and producers to submit their music for film. So I do sync licensing. As far as the film companies go, and I also manage 3 film companies in Atlanta to help, what we got going on. So yeah, so that's pretty much what I got going on, and I also just became the chief of marketing for the GoSayHello app, which is it's a black owned app. It's a crypto based social app that's about to launch in December. So the more you engage in the app, the more crypto you earn, and it's a close proximity app. So if you're looking for engineers in your area, or you're looking for models or whatever, it'll bring up who's ever in close proximity of you on the app. So as soon as you engage with them, you earn crypto. So
That's
yeah,
really
man.
cool.
Dang, man,
That's
serial
good.
entrepreneur
Social-
up in here. I love it.
Serial
Yeah,
entrepreneur.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot going
Yes.
on,
Love
man.
it.
Definitely.
Well, it's crazy because as you were talking, every week we have, different guests on, and sometimes it's people we know, sometimes it's people we know through friends, sometimes we have strangers on that we've never met. That was the first time last week that we did that. And it's always crazy that, like, even with the people we know, there are things that come up that overlap with the person that we bring them on with that we had no idea was going to happen. And like when you were talking, the fundraising thing, it's so crazy. I've been paying attention to these like synchronicities in my life that keep popping up. And I was like, when I was jotting down my 5 words for Ray, I was like, gonna put fundraising on there. And then I took it off. And it's just, and then Gyasi started talking about fundraising, and then you're in the company that's doing the fundraising. Man, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
And we didn't even know
Yeah.
that, Dimari, like going into this.
No, we didn't know any of this stuff. I was just like, dude, I have a really cool person coming on this week, and then now it's because we didn't even have our weekly meeting this week. Honestly, we were like super just busy doing our own thing. So this is God's work at this point,
Yeah.
No, that social media app is so cool to me because I feel like social media is just like not social anymore. Like it's just media at this point. So it sounds like with your app, you're like bringing the actual social aspect back into it. What's the name of the app?
It's called GoSayHello. So we're in beta right now. So if you have an Android, we're on the Android store. But if you have an iPhone, you have to download Test Flight first and then download the actual app itself. So yeah, but we'll be launching in December.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all we're trying to do, man. Is just bring the social back into the social networking world as far as the apps go, man. Like, and this is my first time in tech. You know what I mean? So when they brought it to me, it was like, hey man, like we seen what you've done on the marketing side. We need your help. Like the position is open. If you want it, you got it. So initially, man, the company Algorand, they gave us 300,000 to actually build the app. So they gave us 300,000 to build the app, and then from there, we have another venture capitalist company that's going to give us more funding to market the app. And we have a couple of different acquisitions, on the table as far as buyouts and things of that nature. So whoever buys into this app now, man, it's going to be a major situation.
Man,
Nice.
that's huge.
Love that.
You just get like tossed into so many things, man. This is incredible, dude. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I wanna go back a little bit though to Mr. Island here. So, dude,
Yeah.
Island boy.
Oh
Island
God.
boy.
Oh no.
What's insane is like he just so casually was just like, I was only signed to like the biggest modeling agency in the world, no big deal. But you know, I had to chill with my kids and stuff because that was
I had to
like,
give it all behind for the
I
sugar
had to
company.
give it all up because like I'm just so like hot and yeah, I just walked in and I'm a Ford model now. Like, bro, that does not happen. Okay, like at the end of the day, there's only like 3 modeling agencies that really matter. I mean, there's like new players, but the old guard, you got IMG, you got Ford, you got Wilhelmina. This dude just walked in, open call Ford. What was that like, man? Were you like not going on casting calls or like what? What was happening?
Yeah, so honestly, I was so I had went to before I went into Ford, I had heard this thing on the radio, you know, what I mean they were like, "Oh, you know, if you want to be a model, you know, come to this showcase or whatever, blah 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 blah." And so I was like, what I mean, I was like, I'll do it. Like my mom's always been telling me I should model. You know, so I went to it. I wasted like what, like $300 going to this thing. They took some pictures of me. They had like a bunch of agents, but it's funny though. They did have actual agents there though, because one of the people from Ford was there, and I met her when I actually joined Ford. But they didn't like actually like sign anybody. You know what I mean? So then I was like, but what I did do is I looked at the pictures they took of me, and you know how they say like the camera adds 30 pounds? Like they're not lying. Like I thought I was in really good shape until I saw these pictures. And I was like, I can't be modeling looking like this, right? So I went and I dropped like 10 pounds, and then I decided to just go into open call because I heard that, you know, I went on Ford's website and they're like, yo, we got open calls. So I was like, well, I'm gonna give it a shot and see, because, you know, what do I got to lose? And it was like an afternoon at like 3:00. So I literally walked in, there was like 7 other people sitting in the office, like 4 girls, 3 dudes, and we're all just sitting there. A lady comes out and she's like, I'm gonna take a Polaroid of all you guys, and then I'll be right back. So she snaps like a headshot of everybody in the room, walks back, comes back in 20 minutes. She's like, Ray, can you come with me? And took me. And she's like, everybody else, y'all can go. And I was like, oh, cool. Right? So I went in the back, and she's like, yeah, you know, I showed you the men's board. They kind of like your look. So here's a contract, and I'll email you like tomorrow or some shit like that. So I was like, cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was like, I don't know what this means, but I was like, fine. It's like I briefly went through the contract. I don't know what the hell I was looking at, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, it's a slave contract. Like, don't worry.
Exactly. So I was like, yeah, sure, whatever.
It's gonna come back around in like 20 years.
Probably, right? So I started
like actually your retirement money. You signed that over to us.
It's ours now, right? So then, you know, she calls me in a couple of days, and she's like, all right, come in. We're gonna do some pictures of you. Blah 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 blah. And that's probably what the contract was about, was that I was going to have to pay for the pictures at some point, you know, so
right.
Came in, did some pictures, and then they made me drop another 10 pounds. And then they started sending me out to different castings and whatnot. And it was actually not very lucrative at first, but in Chicago, they do a lot of department store stuff. So probably about 6 months in is when I got like my first like real job with Sears. Like in like their like pamphlet or whatever, and they had started to like me. I wasn't a regular, so the regulars, like, they were making like good fucking money. Like they were making like real money, like weekly, coming in shooting for like a day. I forget what the day rate was, and of course you know that girl models make more than dude models, right? And that shit's okay, but that's neither here nor there, right? But so like they had like weekly cut things, so you had girls that would just come in, shoot for one day, and they got money, like they're making over 100 grand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you still had to wait like 90 days though, right?
Nah, man, I would get paid like the next week, like because if you were with Ford, like you had your little rate ticket, you went to your shoot, you turn that shit in, and like you get your money for your shoot, and then residual depending on how many times they run it.
Oh,
that's
okay. So Ford would advance you.
Yeah, so they pay you for the shoot. and then depending on what kind of campaign that is, you could make money on the back end. So like, the only campaign I actually ever did was I was in a Sears Christmas commercial that went national, and like that's like the only time like I like made like real money for like not having to do anything else. You know what I mean? Like other than that, it was just your day rate. You know what I mean?
How
for
tall are
taking
you, man?
pictures. 6'2".
Oh, okay, yeah, that's perfect, dude. That's
Yeah,
perfect, crushing it. So, I was just gonna transition to the music, unless you had something, Rizzo. Look like you're about to say something.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I was curious if they ever do like buyouts, like where they don't give you residuals? Because I did a couple of commercial gigs for music stuff, and it was always like buyouts. It was like, the guys who wrote
the agency
song or whatever.
I'm guessing a part of that front contract. That first contract tells you that they will decide for you which way they're gonna go. Either they're gonna just charge them like an upfront cost, or they're gonna decide if you're gonna just get royalties on what you're doing. So I really didn't have a say in any of that shit. So sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't.
Cool.
Got it. But luckily you still had like a full career and you had gigs, you had other things going on, so you were
so that was kind of my thing. And it's funny because like when I would play in some of the bands and whatnot, like some of the guys would get mad at me for that because like I never like made a lot of noise about like our pay or like stuff like if they ever felt taken advantage of, because like I wasn't banking on the money. I was literally doing it because I liked doing it. So I was never like a big component of change or like doing anything to I was like, hey guys, I'm having a good time, so whatever. We didn't get paid, but whatever. That's really not the type of bandmate you want when you're trying to like make a living.
Not at all, because we were definitely starving artists, bro. I would have hated you, like, bro. They only gave us beer, bro.
At least they gave that open tab,
Yeah,
drink your
exactly.
That would be like Ray. Like, at least they gave us the open tab, though.
We got drinks, guys.
We got wings.
I don't know when I'm gonna get home tonight, right?
I'm telling you.
Yo,
man. So
before we move on, I gotta give a shout out to this guy, Adam Miranda in Chicago, because he would hook it up. He was a bar manager at this bar in the UIC area, like Pilsen area. And when he was the bar manager, he would get our band to come play, and he would pay us, and he would give us a comped bar tab. So I was like, that's good treatment right there. Far and few between, but people like that, those are winners.
Especially in Chicago, that was good treatment.
Hell yeah.
That is really good treatment. So considering that we're all involved in music or were at some point, I mean, I'll start with you, Gyasi. I mean, you seem to still be active in so many things. Like, is it still worth being in the industry? Is there money to be made? And if so, where and how?
Yes, it's a lot of money to be made. Now everybody's getting these RICO charges. It's wide open. So
I'm my bad. I don't know what RICO charges is. Somebody please.
That's the racketeering something.
Oh yeah.
That's what they get the mobsters for.
Yeah, but they've been taking all the rappers away with it because they know a gang member or something, and then they just say that they're all together, and now they all get to go to jail. It's crazy stuff right now.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, because it's like,
I mean, but like, where's the money? Because it seems like the money's only in shows, and so if I'm not popular enough to do a show, and the streaming is only paying me, fractions of a penny per stream, how am I going to make this money, Mr. Manager?
It's a lot of ways to make money, man. Because the money isn't really in the money is in the music, but at the same time, the money is more so on the merchandising. Like, I also work with, y'all know the artist La Russell?
No, I don't think so.
Man, y'all should look up La Russell, man. He's all over Instagram and whatnot, social media, period. Like, he's going crazy right now. If y'all haven't heard about him, y'all should go take a look. But La Russell, man, yes. Y'all should definitely go take a look at LaRussell, man. He's making a lot of money. I've been working with him since 2019, but he's been doing a whole lot. So, like I said, man, the money is in
Oh,
is in
oh,
the
oh,
merch.
oh! This dude from the dude from the Bay.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he got bars, bro.
that's what
He
I'm
did
saying.
the because he did the Nipsey Hustle wave. He took that same pay to play strategy
Exactly.
and he's been doing extremely well. Yeah, yeah, no, he has
What's the
bars
what's
actually.
the
He got
pay to
bars.
play strategy? Elaborate.
So,
Me
well,
or
not
Gyasi?
Either
Yeah,
one.
we'll let Gyasi do it. Yeah.
well, not so well. They call it pay to play, but he has his fans because of course, as artists, they make the show money and the merch and things of that nature as far as your marketing goes. But at the same time, what he does is that he's already making the money. He has the team. He has a solid team, so his fans are able to pay as they please. So if somebody wants to pay $1 for a T-shirt, they pay $1 for a T-shirt. If they want to pay $1 for his album, they can pay $1 for his album. But he gives a portion of his masters back to his fans as well. So he's built this loyal fan base. He's built this loyal team camaraderie as far as his structure goes, to where everybody in the industry has to respect it. And he's making the money. He just also renovated a new restaurant as well that's pay as you want. So if you want to pay $1 for a muffin, you can pay $1 for a muffin because the money is already there. You get what I'm saying? So as long
Yeah.
as he
But on
has
the
his
flip side of that, though, but I was just gonna say on the flip side of that is you could pay $1,000 for a muffin too, if you want to
exactly,
pay $1,000 for a muffin, which was like
exactly,
how Nipsey Hussle did it with his CD. He basically created an album, a mixtape a while back, and it was like only 100 of them, and he was selling them each for, or it was 1,000 of them, I
It's
think,
like
wasn't it? He was
donation
thousand
selling
of
them each
based.
for $100 or something like that.
right,
Yeah, he had 1,000 of them. He was selling them each for $100,
right.
and like Jay-Z bought like $20,000 worth, and all these big people bought them. So in one hour, he made 100 grand. And so
Hmm.
it was just a whole different strategy on how
Yeah,
to make money in a
Hmm.
music game.
yeah, man. Like it's all about the
That's pretty
structure at the
cool.
end of
Yeah,
the
it's like
day, and the distribution as well, man. Like I have distribution under Rock Nation for every artist that I deal with. So it's equity in Rock Nation that I'm dealing with, as far as the artists that I distribute, and I distribute artists for free. So but like I said, man, it's a lot of money in it, but it's all about how you structure it, man. I have an artist, man. He makes just on his merch, he makes $1,500 a day just on merch, and his music isn't even that good, but his merch is awesome. You get what I'm
That's awesome.
saying? So
yeah. I think
it's
the I think
it's
the
That's
social
just
media aspect of it has definitely made it easier to do the merch thing.
yeah.
yeah, for sure. It's all about how you utilize it.
I mean, I think to a degree, but it's like because there's still so much competition on social media. I mean, I think like yeah, the avenue is there, but it doesn't mean people are buying. It just means
Grassroots.
maybe someone will see it. Right, you need the grassroots things, which is like LaRussell. Does he have a background in like renovations or something?
His team does.
Okay,
Yeah, so he had so
okay,
like
yeah.
so the thing with LaRussell was that he's been grinding so much that he's had people come into his life, whether it's people that he went to high school with or whatever the case may be. They've been seeing his progress. So he has different people that come on board, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to take this load off for you. I'm going to be your in-house engineer. I'm going to be your in-house photographer. I'm going to be your in-house videographer. I'm going to make your merch." You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to handle your distribution. I'm going to handle your social media content. So he has all of these people that are going for the common goal of, and they see where he's going, and it's paying off for everybody. because he already had a structure. He just needed people to come on board that were quality people that could add on and be assets to his situation.
That's super important, man. So I've done music. I remember the most I ever got paid for a show. I mean, big bucks here, guys. I'm talking $100. Okay, big money. What was the most you got, Ray?
I think the most. Shit, I'm trying to think. It couldn't have been more than like $500.
Ooh, you were balling, bro.
It was a handful of money. Shows. Yeah, it was like a handful. They weren't all like that. Most of the time, they were like $150. Usually was like average, but I think like we played Summerfest one year. That was pretty legit. We played like a New Year's Eve party one time. That was pretty legit. But yeah, nothing crazy. But like I said,
I was almost pay your rent with that.
Shit, not Chicago.
Yeah, almost. What about you, Rizzo?
Well, not off of a show, but off of music generally, like doing a gig, a couple grand.
Off a show?
Not off a show. Just off of
I'm talking about something. Off a show, bro.
Oh, off a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, I made a couple grand selling albums, but I'm talking about a show.
A show? Yeah. It's probably it's probably like under 1,000. Was like the
under
most
1,000?
we ever made. Under 1,000 is probably the most we ever made off any of the shows we did.
That's a lot, bro. Off one show, you made like almost $1,000.
Yeah, because like sometimes we would
individually.
Yeah, as a group, not individually. No, as a group, as a band. Because I think we would like the college would pay when we did like some of the bigger events. We had a couple gigs where we played some big venues and got a share of the draw or whatever. Yeah, but I think the most fulfilling one was the Cubby Bear when we recorded our DVD, because that was like we sold all the tickets ourselves, and it was about, I want to say there's probably like around 250 people there, and we sold all the tickets, and that was a really fulfilling experience to produce the whole thing ourselves. Basically, me and Nick kind of were the creative directors of the whole process. And the whole band kind of worked hard to sell tickets and pack it, and it just was a really fulfilling experience. So I don't know how much we made that night, but it probably wasn't a ton.
I mean, that's more than I've ever made. Like I said, I got a cool huncho, man. I was living great, man. I went straight to the liquor store, got a bottle of Hennessy, bro. I was like, yo, this rap stuff is gonna work, man. I'm telling you.
Hey, Dimari, can I peek? You know what? Hey, Dimari, I wanna re-answer your question real quick. It's gonna take me 2 seconds.
Okay.
So you asked me where's the money, right? I don't know what it is about Atlanta, but they're giving money away in Atlanta damn near. My brother just hopped into the music scene. We put out one video. In 7 months, he hit 1.3 million views. We marketed it, did what we had to do.
What?
Damn.
Listen, listen. So, and this is what me pushing it, right? 1.3 million views in 7 months when we're around there. And he's about to sign his first label deal in a couple weeks. Off one song, one video. I didn't even release the record on streaming platforms. It's just on YouTube. And the label was like, oh man, this is a no-brainer. Oh yeah.
Shit.
That's insane. All right, so you're saying Rizzo was already planning on maybe moving to Atlanta, so maybe this is the move?
Maybe in the future. Not
because the thing about like the music culture
I
here in
mean, he's
Atlanta is that everybody works with each other, man. Like from producers to writers
Yeah,
to the
I miss
artists
that.
themselves. Like, everybody works with each other. Like it's crazy. And like just last night, we were just in a studio with four different influencers, but they were all kids, like 16, 17 years old, 1.9 million followers on Instagram, 2 million followers on Instagram. These kids are young, like 15, 16 years old. And they're like, yeah, we're about to go over to Twitch and we're
yeah.
going to make X amount of dollars on Twitch. I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like, man, we got 3 million followers on TikTok, but they're in the studio with my
Yo,
brothers
you see the
making TikTok videos. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So
Yo,
do you
Man, I
watch
don't know,
Atlanta
bro.
what I'm
the
hearing
show?
you say is we're too old. Is that what you're telling me?
Yo, I guarantee I'm older than all y'all, so I'm way too old for that shit.
Yeah. When you were talking about
nah,
the
man.
16-year-old influencers, I thought of that episode of Atlanta with the young white rappers. Did you see that on the current season? You
Yeah, I
watch that
seen
show?
No, I
that,
haven't
man.
seen it.
Young
That's
white
hilarious,
rappers.
man.
He's like, you got to get you one of these.
Them Island Boys.
Nah, man, it's
Oh,
it's
the
pretty
Island
much
Boys,
like I
yo,
said, man.
it's that time.
Yeah,
It's that
yeah,
time.
but like I said, man,
It's that time,
it's just
bro.
one of
It
it's
is
just
that
one of them
time.
things.
Yeah.
It's just one of them things, man. Like I said, everybody's working together.
Allegedly.
Yeah, everybody's working together for a common cause out here, and all the major artists are moving out here, and everybody's just collabing to make more money. So ultimately,
Love it.
That is something that I did notice about Atlanta specifically is the young boys are definitely about their paper there. Like, being in Chicago, people just like to be violent for no reason. They're not even getting money out here. They're just violent. But in Atlanta, they really are getting to the paper out there. I'm talking like you'll see a little 15-year-old kid with like 60 bands in his pocket. Like, why? Like, how? But like no one's robbing them. It's like four of them, and they all just got like money. It's insane. But it's that time, Rizzo. It's
Let's do
that
it.
time.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So we have an allegedly question that we like to bring each week.
Okay.
This week, allegedly, okay? Allegedly, fellas. The left are going after all of Donald Trump's allies one by one. The most recent one is Steve Bannon. Do you think this is true, and why?
I guess, yeah, but when have they not been? I guess is my question. I feel like they've been trying to do it for forever, and I think people stopped paying attention because they were never fucking successful. You know what I mean? So I feel like they've always been trying, but nothing comes of it.
I
That's
mean,
just,
they've been locking
that's my
people
personal-
up, though, bro. They just sentenced Steve Bannon. It looks like he's going to actually do some time in jail, which his lawyers were trying to give
4
him,
months.
Probation.
Exactly.
4 months. Okay, you go spend 4 months in jail after you've been living a great
But
life.
it's all relative. I mean, this guy
He's going to real
this
jail.
guy orchestrated
Yeah, he's going
the
to
most
real jail.
like fraudulent interference in an election ever, and he's going to get 4 months in
Allegedly.
jail. But there's dudes selling weed that are still serving life sentences. Makes no sense.
Yep.
Allegedly, he's done these things.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
They haven't
Well,
been
not
able to
allegedly,
prove
because he got
anything.
sentenced to 4 months in prison, so he was found guilty.
They got him for they got him for not going to a deposition.
Yeah. I know.
oh wow,
They didn't find him on anything. He just didn't go to a deposition, and he didn't talk to him. So you rappers need to learn from Steve Bannon. Don't
How to not
say
go to
anything.
prison?
They won't have anything.
Don't say anything.
Gyasi, what do you think, man? I mean, you believe it's true? And if so, why?
I don't really like talking about politics, bro. Honestly,
I respect that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
like
I love talking about it because everyone secretly has an opinion,
yeah, like I don't like
and,
to.
and
I
there's
don't
like
even like to
no
get
wrong
into it.
answer.
Yeah, because like I don't like talking about like because people ask me certain questions about Trump and Biden and all of that good stuff, and I'm like, yo, I don't. I have my thoughts about Trump. Like he put, I'm not gonna speak on it, but yeah, it is what it is, man.
It is what it is,
It
and
Yeah,
they
is
are
what it
going after
is.
some people, and it is getting weird out here. To
yeah,
Ray's point, I mean, it's been like since 2015, and then they finally, like, once he left office, it looks like they've just been like one by one, like, all right, we'll pull this person out of their house, we'll send the FBI to their house, we'll do this, we'll do
yeah.
that, and I still want to know where those emails are.
Exactly.
Just saying.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
Nobody knows,
don't know.
bro. Nobody knows. They're probably. I know where they are. They're on Epstein Island.
Oh
That's where they
God,
are.
Dude.
Gyasi's like, oh God, what did I get myself
yo,
into?
Mar, you killing me
Yeah,
over
no, we
here,
like to
bro.
have fun.
Mari's a wild boy, man. He's a wild boy.
Yo, so Gyasi, man. On another note, man, what was it? What was it like going to an HBCU, man? I went to what do they call it? The WPIs? Is that what they call it? White public institutions or something? I think they call them.
Oh
It's a thing. That's what they call it. I just
no,
found this
no, for
term out
sure.
like
No,
a
you're
year
right.
ago.
You're
Someone
right.
was like, "Oh, I went to
I
a
have not heard that before.
No, you're
I've not
correct.
heard that.
WPI.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah."
you're
So I
correct.
missed out on that opportunity. That's what they call it. And I was like, I was talking to somebody. She went to Spelman, and she was like, "Oh, you went to a WPI?" And I was like, "What's that?" And she was like, "What? Of course you wouldn't know." Like, was totally
Oh.
judging me. And and so she just basically shitted on me real quick. So what was that like, HBCU experience for you, man?
Oh man, the HBCU experience it was dope while it lasted. I'm actually a college dropout. I stayed for a while, but like in Memphis, bro, like it's Memphis is like a big Gary. Like it's I was like, yo, this is like what the hell did I just walk into? Because all HBCUs, literally, bro, like all HBCUs are in the hood. Like everything is right there in the smack dead in the middle of the hood. But the school I went to, LeMoyne on, is right behind LeMoyne Gardens, which is First 48 territory. So the school was cool. I went there.
Shit.
I went. I went there to play basketball and things of that nature. But yeah, I ended up leaving early, man. I was there for like almost 3 years, and I called my dad and I was like, "Yo, like it's time for me to go. Like I don't know what I need to do, but y'all need to come get me ASAP because it was,
Damn.
yeah,
What
man. Like it
happened? Like
was,
you were almost at the finish line. What made you
oh
leave?
man, because it was kids getting stuck up in broad daylight for their backpacks at gunpoint. My teammates were getting robbed, stripped down to their drawers. Like it was crazy, man. Like I was seeing people getting beat up. I seen a girl get pistol whipped. Like it was crazy, bro. So when I
Jesus.
when I left LeMoyne, like 6 months later, bro, my first roommate at LeMoyne, he ended up getting shot 7 times in the back and he died on campus.
Jesus Christ. You are not selling me on the HBCUs right now. Just want to let you know
Yo,
that.
That is
Yo,
intense,
listen, but
man.
all HBCUs aren't the same. It's just Memphis. Like Memphis just has that stigma of I'm gonna get you by any means necessary. You know what I mean? Like period, point blank. You better watch your back. You better be on your P's and Q's because if you're not on your P's and Q's and you're not rolling with the right people, you walk down the wrong alley or whatever the case may be, somebody's gonna get you. Period, point blank. Gonna get got.
Gee.
Wow.
I don't like that, man. I feel really good about my WPI decision at this point now. Thank you for that.
See, I got no motivation to go to Memphis now. I'm not lying to you. I'm
Yeah, right.
not.
Oh
Y'all ain't gonna
man,
catch me in
yo,
Memphis. It's not
nah,
happening.
nah, man. If you go to
I
Memphis, go to
stopped in
Beale Street.
Memphis. Like, it was the one place. I didn't even go to Beale Street. I stopped there once, like actually on a drive to moving to Texas. We just stopped at a diner, and I'm glad we got right in and out because it sounds like I could have been on the first 48 at this point. So thank God
Oh,
I got out of
Memphis.
Memphis, man.
Oh man,
I
it's
mean,
Memphis.
so
It's
Ray,
Yeah,
oh no, go ahead. I'm listening.
You're okay. Now I was going to ask Ray. So Ray, dude,
yeah,
black calculus. I mean, that's not stuff that we hear about all of the time. Those two things going together. We know that it exists, but we just don't see it. This happened for you somehow. And then you went to a WPI, probably one of the few black people there.
yeah.
What was that experience like for you?
It was, it was, it was unreal. It was unreal. It was an uncomfortability that I just got accustomed to. I guess, I had, so when you end up at these schools that, for me at least, we end up with a close-knit clique of black students. We all gravitated toward each other, and we all kind of had each other's back. But then you find that, at least where I was at, like, it wasn't like, it was more of, everybody knew that there was always going to be a handful of black students at this school. So everybody, for some reason, everybody assumed we were African. Because there was more African students there than other like African American students.
Yeah.
But it was different. So like I learned how to cut my own hair because like there was no barbershops.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And like a couple of handful of the black girls, like if dudes had long hair, like they knew that they had to braid their hair, else these guys would be ass out for until they went home for holidays and whatnot. But it was just like it was culture shock to say the least. Culture shock to say the least, man. But I made some great friendships with people of different races. Like I had never really had to I was forced to be diverse. I was forced to meet people and go to diners and be the only black dude sitting there and go to bars and go to parties and whatnot. So it made me, I had to make a choice. Either I was going to try and hide myself or I was going to try and shine, and it came out it's funny. I wrote a song about it when I was in college, actually. I actually have it tattooed on my arm.
Love that.
It was called Bird Underwater. And I was just like, I felt out of place, and I felt like eventually I'd fit in, and that's pretty much what the song was about. It was like knowing that I'm a bird, knowing that I should be flying, but I'm underwater, and I can't swim. So it's just like this constant state of uncomfortability. But like I said, I end up learning a lot about myself, learning about a lot of things that I don't mind. Like I'm the only island dude that probably knows how to snowboard really fucking well. Like I snowboard. I'm a great snow driver, and I have a lot of friends, that live up in the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. But there's part of me that wonders, what that would have been like if I went to a historically black college or even maybe just stay back in the islands where I was comfortable. Because it was different. It was different. But I appreciate it for what it was, though. I appreciate it for what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it actually, when you said that, have you ever read Dreams from My Father? Obama's memoir. His
No, I
first
haven't.
published book. It's actually worth reading, I think. It's really good, but there's a part in the book where he talks about being the only black kid growing up where he was. And so he would always pretty much only be the only black kid everywhere, playing basketball, going to parties, all of this stuff. So he meets some other group of kids or something. I don't remember. I read this years ago, but he gets invited to a party and he goes to this party and he brings 2 or 3 of his friends with him. They're white, and they go to the party and it's an all black party, and they're there for all of 5 minutes. And all the white kids are like, all right, man, let's go, man. This party's whack. He's like, what, bro? This is the best party ever. This is happening. Why are we leaving? And they were all uncomfortable, and so he had to leave. And he was like, it just made him realize that that's how he goes through his entire life, being the only black person around all white people, and they couldn't handle being the only white people for 5 minutes, and they felt uncomfortable, and that's been his entire life. And I just thought that was so powerful, and it just reminded me of that when you just shared that story, man. It's
for sure.
People need to get out more. Okay.
Yeah, experience each other and
it reminds
and
me
be fine being uncomfortable. You know.
Yeah. What are you gonna say, Riz?
Reminds me of the memoir that I wrote about being the only black kid in my family growing up. They used to call me Little Black Brandon, and it makes a lot of sense now.
It makes the most sense. Little Black Brandon. That's hilarious. Yo, you know Moses called you black. You know, we did have a guy on the episode like a few months ago, and he literally called Rizzo black, and it was so funny. And I was like, did anybody just catch that? He was like, yo, we're all black and successful. And I'm looking like, hold on, wait. All right, cool. Let's run with it.
For real though, I mean, like,
it's all good.
Obviously I'm not in your guys' shoes, but I grew up in diversity, like that was my childhood growing up. And I always felt more comfortable around black crowds because I felt like I fit in more. And it was always kind of weird because I would be in like the friend groups that, like, I had different friend groups, right, growing up. If I was like with my black friends, sometimes I felt more at home than when I would be with my white friends. And I never, it just kind of growing up that was always just like naturally, like, coming from a diverse, childhood, and then going to these places where like that doesn't exist, and then like, diversity is a thing that like now is, prescribed at places, and it's like, it's just an interesting place we are, in the world at this point.
Yeah. For sure. No, I could totally see you being a dude that's like definitely like at the black barbecue, like dancing and shit. Like,
hell yeah.
Yo, Gyasi, so you mentioned growing up with a baseball dad, bro. Like that's like what anyone could like hope to have. And this was LaTroy. He was a pitcher for the Cubs at some point, right? Am I remembering this correctly?
Very much so.
Okay, right. So what's that like? Like, do you have to move when he's on a different team, or you just kind of stay where you are and he's doing his thing, or like how does that work with a professional athlete dad?
No, we had a house in Texas. We had a mansion in Texas that we lived in Prosper, Texas. So one of his great friends is Torrey Hunter. Torrey built his house down the street from us. They were teammates for a while with the Minnesota Twins. And Deion Sanders lived like down the street from us, and I ended up playing on Deion's team as a kid, playing football on his team. And grew up with Shador and Bucky, his oldest son, and Shiloh, the ones that he's coaching now over at Jackson State. So they were like little kids when we were kids. So man. But having baseball dad and things of that nature, like it was cool. Had a lot of great experiences, man. Like the life that a lot of people want to live today, I lived it at a very young age, flying on private jets and being in, these major suites with all of these celebrities, with Floyd Mayweather and, Gary Sheffield and Morris Chestnut and the works. Like, I got a chance to experience that, but the one thing that, they all had in common was not really being happy, if that makes sense. That was one of the biggest reasons why I moved to Atlanta, man. It was just
wait.
Rizzo's like, what?
I gotta cut it.
Wait, what?
Gyasi, you're telling me that money doesn't buy happiness?
It buys a lot of cool shit.
No, so no, money can definitely buy happiness for the right people, but money is, money is still the root of all evil at the end of the day, man. Like if you don't have the right people around you, that can pull your coattail, and you can listen to those people, man. Like it's so many miserable millionaires and billionaires out there, and that's something I got a chance to see at a young age, man. So it was just one of them things, like growing up, man. Like money never ever made me, because I knew where I came from. We all come from Gary, Indiana. My stepdad's side, my stepmom, my dad, and my mom's side, everybody's from Gary. So at the end of the day, it was one of them things like, man, everybody know what it feels like to not have nothing. And we were the most happy then. When nobody had nothing, when it was me and my 7 cousins in one bedroom, sleeping on pallets, that was the funnest times of my life. But then you go to have money and things of that nature, man, like, I got a chance to experience that. So from poverty, well, I won't say poverty, but living in the hood, to having millions of dollars and being around it, to all the nice cars, private jets, all the nice restaurants, going on cruises and things of that nature. Like I did it all, been to different countries. I did it. To come in here to where my actual dad is more of like a middle class lifestyle, but it's the most happy, like just the happiest shit in the world, because we never forgot where, my dad was the one that always kept me grounded. My grandfather kept me grounded. My grandmother kept me grounded. Both of my grandmothers. You know what I mean? So it was never about the money. My dad, my actual dad, he's a legend. He's a legend in between the Chicago and Gary area, as far as on the basketball side. Like he was the #1 point guard in the country from middle school to 12th grade. And Steve Hudson, which is my godfather, that's who took my dad through his basketball journey. You know what I mean? So he was the #1 point guard in the country. You know what I mean? So it's like from both sides, from the basketball to the baseball, I got a chance to, experience it all, man, from both sides.
So, Gyasi, I don't know, man. I'm still choosing FBO over TSA any day, bro. I don't know what's wrong with you, man. You telling me you still rather ride coach on a Spirit flight than be on that?
No. What I'm saying is, of course, man, I would love to be on
the
the
big
PJ,
seat's
man.
pretty
But at the
dope,
end of the
though.
day, yeah. But at the end of the day, I choose happiness over not being happy at all. I rather
Bro,
live.
happiness on that big plane with all that leg room, bro, and that champagne, bro.
leg room makes me happy.
Yeah.
Nah, man, I
Man.
definitely get your point. No, I see. I
Yeah.
think it's all about mindset,
Right.
and you definitely have the right mindset. But so you from Gary though, bro. So like, what's your take on Freddie Gibbs, man?
Oh man, I'm a big fan of his music. My cousin actually married his twin sister. Yeah, so my cousin married his twin sister, man. But he's a dope artist, bro. He's super super dope. And yeah, man, like my hat goes off to him for making it out the city.
Yeah. I just listened. He just dropped a new album like a couple weeks ago or something. Pretty
So
fire. I
Yeah.
mean, if you want to if you want to feel like you literally are the biggest drug dealer mobster, just throw on some Freddie Gibbs, and like you just want to eat pasta and like wear a suit for no reason and just start pointing your fingers. That's how I feel.
wait,
When I listen
that's
to
not what
Freddie.
you normally do? I just
I
normally
mean,
do.
that's
I made
Sounds like
pasta
you
the
always
other
listen
night.
to Freddie Gibbs.
you trying to get you trying to get
Shit,
side by side hit with the RICO charges now, bro. Come on, man. Calm.
shit. But between Freddie
So
Gibbs and Pusha T, they make the biggest drug dealer music ever.
Absolutely.
So
What you gonna say, Riz?
I want to go back to the this or that real quick before we check out of here, since it sounds like we got a couple basketball aficionados or fans in the room. So gotta ask, who you got going to the finals this year?
Ooh.
We'll start with Ray.
The Chicago Bulls.
And we all laugh because it's a joke.
It's not a joke. They got a good
Caruso.
Caruso.
I mean, Caruso's doing his thing, though. Let's be real.
Listen, man. So the Bulls right now, they remind me of that Piston team that won it all with Ben Wallace and Chauncey and all them cats. It's none of them are superstars, and they're all willing to make the extra pass. And that's what I dig about the current Bulls roster. You know what I mean? So that's why I back them. I know that they don't have the power to beat Giannis. I know they don't got the power to beat Brooklyn, but I just like that they don't got no stars. They're all like it's like 5 Scottie Pippens on the court. You know what I mean? Like no MJs, just like 5 Scottie Pippens. And I just dig that. I dig that.
Yeah, but Ben Wallace and Chauncey Billups, bro, they were brawlers too. I mean, literally Ron Artest beat the shit out of the whole Auburn Palace. Like,
Yo,
that was, I mean, meta. I'm sorry, meta.
Yeah, meta world peace, man.
Yeah, meta world peace.
So
man.
Ray, so are you picking the Bulls to make it to the finals?
You know what? Yes, I am because
Picking the Bulls. All right, against who?
Who's on the West though? Who's on the West?
Who's on the West? Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. To me, the West is wide open. I feel like they got a lot. And to me, anybody can bubble to the top out in the West. I mean, because if I'm being honest, if the Nets are healthy and they play the way they're supposed to, it's gonna be them against Giannis trying to win the East. You know what I mean? But I don't think the Nets are gonna stay healthy. And
the Nets are gonna get
it just becomes
either knocked out of the play-in tournament or not make the playoffs.
Which is crazy because on paper, like nobody should be able to beat them. On paper.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they're
like, on paper.
because of the whole circus, you know? Like I don't know if that circus is gonna last more than 50 games. But
I don't know.
Yo, I'm a big Cavs fan. Dimari knows this. And we're on the come up. Our stock is going up this year.
No.
You better
Don't
get
get me wrong. To me, y'all are like where the Bulls were 2 years ago. You know, what I mean, on your way. But y'all ain't.
I don't think we're at the finals point yet. But I think we can make
y'all
it.
Went to the playoffs though.
We can make it deeper in the playoffs this year. I think.
Yeah.
Maybe, at least
See,
second round.
the thing is though, with the playoff, it's just like okay, what you said, Ray, about like anybody can bubble up on the West. I agree. But then once you get into the playoffs, it's a whole different world out there. And now, like, GSW just turns into something else when it's playoff season. Like, they just different, bro.
They are, but, you know what I mean? With Clay, to me, not being Clay, he's one hard foul away from losing another season. You know what I mean? And Chef can't do it on his own. You know what I mean? Draymond is like, people have figured out Draymond, if I'm being honest. To me, they figured out Draymond. So it really
they just
comes
need
down
him to be
Shaq.
the goon now. He's the
you know,
He's the bad boy, bro. And he plays that. He plays that role to a T.
He can't shoot
to me,
his threes anymore.
It's gonna land on Clay. Clay's gotta step up. If Clay don't show up, GSW ain't getting.
So wait, who you got on the West then? You never said.
Honestly, I'm thinking the Joker. I think his team is
Dallas Mavs.
I think they're doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Who you got, Riz? You said Cavs. You didn't say Cavs for the finals though. You wish.
Yeah, I wish. I would say it's probably if they stay healthy, it'd probably be the Bucks, and then out of the West, as much as it pains me to say it, it's probably be the Warriors. But we'll see how the season goes. I can't stand.
I think
the Warriors.
I think the two
Warriors
European
hater
dudes going to go at it. I think it's going to be Luka versus Jokic. I think is who's going to be fighting for
make
it.
It that far. Gyasi, who you got, man?
And I'm a big LeBron fan, man. I've been a LeBron fan since I was a kid. So wherever LeBron go, I'm rocking with Bronny, man.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. LeBron is the X
Lakers
factor,
are off
right?
to a rough start.
Any given season, LeBron could win it, I think. But I feel like LeBron's just coasting. He's trying not to hurt himself. He's trying to hold out for Bronny. So he's not going to turn it on. He's just going to be like, you know what? If we win, we win. If not, I'm holding out. I'm not going to risk my body and not be able to play with my son.
Understandable.
Yeah, I mean, he's somewhere sad anyway, bro. He's a billionaire, bro. So according to Gyasi, dude, he's sad.
I think he's just trying to
He's
rack
sad
up the
because he
stats
got
at
too
this
much
point.
money.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Oh, man.
LeBron looked like he's living his
Who
best
you got
life.
on the
man.
East, Gyasi?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. He does.
It's a great question. I don't really. I don't think I don't have nobody. Nah, I don't. I don't really
That's
see.
exactly
nobody
why the Bulls
coming
stand a
out the
chance.
East.
So you're saying there's a chance?
So you're saying there's a chance.
Could be right, man. You could be right. I'm anxious, man. I'm anxious to see what the
know,
7-4 kid gonna do next year.
Yeah,
Oh,
Chet.
yeah. No, not Chet.
The
Chet
kid.
got injured.
No, I know.
I'm
That's
talking
why.
about that
No,
other
next
kid.
year.
What's his name? What?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Wabamia or something?
Oh, the
Yeah,
7-4-4.
yeah, that kid from
Wembanyama or something
France.
like that, bro. It's a
Oh,
different name.
yeah. The dude who just put up
Yeah.
25-5 for the first time since LeBron's rookie season. That guy?
He's nuts.
Yeah, he's gonna be the first round
I
draft pick.
don't know, man. I would love to see the Bulls, bro. I'm always going Bulls, but I mean, I could see Nets or Bucks and
Guys, the Bulls are not going to the
GSW.
finals. I'm just going to be real with you. They're not that good. They might make the playoffs,
But
but you guys are
they don't have
unrealistic
to be
with
that good.
your expectations.
But they don't have to. But they don't have to be that good. It's just like, bro, they just have to be better than everyone else in the East, bro. And that's not that difficult to be at this point.
Nah, not anymore. The East is pretty good. The East is
Bro,
pretty
the
strong.
Nets are top contenders.
1 through 6
bro,
is really good.
Philadelphia, not even a chance, bro. 'Cause
Philadelphia
they got
is
the James
really
Harden
good.
curse now.
But they're good. They're really good. And so is Boston. So
Yeah,
1 through 6
Boston.
in the
We
East
can't-
is
we can't
pretty
sleep on
tough.
Boston.
Can't
You're
sleep
not
on
lying.
Boston. No, you right.
Yeah,
You right.
can't
You
sleep on
right.
Tatum.
Listen,
I forgot
bro.
about Boston.
I'm Southside till I die, so I'm seeing red only, okay?
Let's go.
You can hate how you want to
That's
hate.
fine.
but-
Let's
I see
go.
wine and gold.
Wine and gold.
Look, I'll accept. Listen, bro, because they right up the street, bro. So I'll take Cleveland.
Thank you. Thank you,
But
Dimari.
if it's Cleveland against my boys, I mean, you know what time
Well,
it
It
is.
is what it
Obviously,
is. When I lived in Ohio,
and we'll-
I cheered for LeBron.
All right, listen, guys. Really appreciate you coming on tonight. If the people are trying to find you, where can they find you? Gyasi, go ahead. Let them know where to find you.
You can find me at King Gyasi on Instagram. That's KingGyasi. My cigar page is at G Cigars. A subscription service at New Rock Global, NUROC Global. Yeah, man. That's pretty much it for me.
I just want to let the people know that I've smoked one. Go ahead, get you one, man. Get you the G cigar. Go ahead, do it. I had mine. I had mine for
appreciate
the.
that.
What was that? The I think that was Trey's wedding.
Oh, yeah, for the wedding, yep.
You put a little package together for all of the groomsmen. Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely. Yep. Smooth. Go ahead, get y'all one. If y'all like to smoke, support that black business right there.
There you go.
Sure. Give me some of this from my
And
fire
when,
pit.
and when we
I
get
love
off
it
when we
this
get off
guy.
of here, I'm gonna need that plug right there. I'm gonna need that whole snippet.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Ray, man, if the people looking for you, where can they find you, man?
Oh, I'm rfrancis823 on Insta. That's all I mess with right now.
On the gram.
Yep.
gram. And
Keep it
Rizzo,
simple,
man, if the
man.
people are looking for you, where can they find you?
RizzoFeels.com and Rizzo Feels on social media. You can also find us, Elusis Media Group, on LinkedIn and Side X Side Pod on all of the platforms.
Yes, you can. And you can find me at JudahClan on just about anything or JudahClan.com. Until we're side by side next time. Peace.
Thank you.
Peace.
small business owner, young professional, or pre-retiree looking to grow and protect your assets but don't know where to start? With all the noise about stocks, bonds, cryptos, it can be hard to know what steps to take. Let Black Swan Financial Group help you so you can focus on doing what you're good at. Black Swan Financial Group is a telefinancial planning firm operating in select states nationwide. They're here to help you protect, create, and grow your assets. Visit blackswanfinancialgroup.com today to get your free consultation. Hey everybody, Brandon and Dimari from Side by Side here. Just want to tell you about one of our newest sponsors, Ease Web Development.
Ease Web Development specializes in building high conversion websites and marketing campaigns that take your business to the next level. They're the easy decision when it comes to marketing.
So check them out now at www.easewebdev.com. That's ease, WEBDEV.com. Now back to the show.